Episode 4, reading my email news, May 28th, 2020, Thursday. Kathy Griffin suggests Trump use syringe with nothing but air inside it. Trump Jr. blasts her Twitter. People are so hateful. From the Daily Wire. Iranian father beheads 13-year-old daughter in honor killing. Oh dear. Justice will be served. Trump announces he has directed FBI, DOJ to investigate death of George Floyd. Okay. I don't think that should be up to the federal government, but whatever. Non-essential store opened during lockdown to sell Democrat Governor Lujan Grisham jewelry, report says. Okay. That sounds like when the St. Louis mayor sold her children's book. Watch. Unsealed video shows Planned Parenthood execs under oath discussing baby body part sales. Is that Luan? Luhan? Yahoo Sports, read and react. Brought to you by Yahoo. Trending. Mike Tyson is going to wrestle. Browns want Jadeveon Clowney. He's not quite sure he wants Cleveland. Tom Brady's SUV is up for sale for $300,000. Knicks target Tibbs as their next head coach to fire. D is for drama. Morning. What the hell are we going to talk about today? Well, you can never go wrong with the Cowboys, right? If you love them, then you love talking about them. If you hate them, then you love talking about them too. So let's talk Dak Prescott and try to put a little subtle sauce on the should they or shouldn't they sign him debate. At this point, they shouldn't. Let's start with why they shouldn't. In simple terms, he hasn't won enough. He's won, just not enough. To lock yourself in at $35 to $40 million per is a significant gamble. Remember, 2 playoff appearances and 1 win. Jerry's acutely aware of that. Why should the boys sign Dak? Because starting over would mean starting over, and Jerry wants to win yesterday. This is the debate the Cowboys are having with themselves. They're also staring at a QB they stole in the 4th round. Maybe they think they can do it again, though that's a bigger gamble than betting on Dak. Jerry Jones has put himself in a position to make a lot of big decisions in his life. Here comes another one. Odds are the Cowboys sign him, not put the franchise tag on him. Only 2 QBs have ever actually played under the tag since its inception in 1993. Both of those, Drew Brees and Kirk Cousins twice, wound up leaving. Love him or hate him, Dallas puts the D in drama. Jerry's got until July 15th to figure it out. Must see. 7-spin trampoline flip. With help from some friends, a teenager completes an incredible septuple kaboom. Cool. Eisenberg. Red Sox organist still playing Take Me Out to the Ballgame. Wets and Busby. MJ versus Isaiah. Exotic versus Baskin. Suggestions for the match 3.0. Okay. Rohrbach. Who has the better career, LeBron James or Kobe Bryant? Caption this. Seriously, let's go back to the blog days of old when we played Caption This Photo weekly. Send us your best caption for this real photo right here. Oh my goodness. Delete. I'll skip over that to get to this. Investigation over for Yahoo. It's the Daily Yahoo. Brought to you by Yahoo. Investigation launched into Central Park incident involving white woman and black man. Why is there an investigation necessary? She was a fucking bitch, that's all. She was just dumb. New York City's Commission on Human Rights launched an investigation Wednesday into the incident involving a woman who called police after encountering a black man in Central Park. EU reactions to Commission 750 BLN Euro Coronavirus Recovery Scheme. The European Commission proposed on Wednesday to borrow 750 billion. That's a weird way to put, okay. To borrow 750 billion euros on the market and issue grants and loans to EU countries to kickstart an economic recovery after the coronavirus pandemic. Below are initial reactions of EU governments to the plan. Where exactly are these euros coming from? Don't all the... whatever. South Korea virus cases make biggest jump in 50 days. Almost 80 new cases were recorded on Wednesday. Okay. Recalculate your house payment. Why Americans are refinancing with Quicken Loans. Thai Airways submits bankruptcy request, court says. Thai Airways International PCL on Tuesday submitted a request to a bankruptcy court for rehabilitation of its debt, the court said, which, if approved, would give the airline time to negotiate with its creditors. Earlier this month, Thailand's cabinet approved a plan to restructure blah 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 from Reuters. Poor airlines. All the airlines. Poor airlines. Oh, another one. Lufthansa board rejects EU conditions on $10 billion bailout. Lufthansa's $10 billion government bailout was thrown into doubt on Wednesday after the German airline's supervisory board refused to accept the conditions attached by Brussels. The board, which had been expected to sign off on the aid, instead refused EU requirements that Lufthansa permanently... Oh, fine. What? That Lufthansa permanently give up takeoff and landing slots at Frankfurt and Munich airports, where it commands a 2/3 market share. The bailout plan nevertheless remains the only viable alternative to insolvency, Lufthansa said, and negotiations will continue over EU demands that would lead to a weakening of its airport hubs as well as its ability to repay loans. The European Commission had no comment on the specific case, a spokesperson said. Terms discussed with Brussels included the forfeiture of 72 slots used by 12 of 300 jets based at the two airports, a source familiar with the matter said. But whereas Lufthansa wanted to reclaim the slots after repaying aid, the Commission sought permanent concessions, the person said. Airlines, including Air France, KLM, and the main U.S. carriers have all sought government aid to ride out the coronavirus crisis, which has brought air travel to a near halt. The bailout deal announced on Monday would see the German government take a 20% stake in Lufthansa in return for a €6 billion injection of new capital, most of it non-voting, combined with $3 billion in state-backed loans. That's a lot of billions. The Lufthansa Group employs around 138,000 people, according to its website. Economy Minister Peter Altmaier said after the board announcement he still expected Brussels to approve the package. It's not only in Germany's interests, but also in the European Union's interests to avoid a sell-off of strategic interests in the industrial sector as a result of this pandemic, Altmaier added. Some rival airlines disagree. Low-cost carrier Ryanair's chief executive, Michael O'Leary, vowed on Tuesday to challenge a bailout package he said would massively distort competition in the German market for the next 5 years. It is deeply ironic that the German government, which lectures all other EU countries about respecting EU rules, has no difficulty breaking the state aid rules when it comes to Lufthansa, O'Leary said in a Ryanair statement. But the German Cockpit Association, a pilots' union, also warned that giving up slots to budget rivals would threaten European jobs and labor standards. Some airlines in the low-cost segment have large financial reserves because they have disregarded the rights of employees for years and passed on their business to business risk to their employees, the group said. It cannot be the goal of German and European rescue policy to save companies from insolvency with billions in cash and at the same time put them at a severe disadvantage. Okay. Euro area economy closer to ECB's worst case estimates, Lagarde says. From Bloomberg. The euro area economy is faring worse than hoped, facing a recession as bad as the European Central Bank's more pessimistic forecasts. Output is set to shrink between 8% and 12%, ECB President Christine Lagarde and Vice President Luis de Guindos both said on Wednesday. Maybe they should not have panicked so much. Watch Dave Matthews on Pay It Forward Live tonight. Dave Matthews performs on Pay It Forward Live tonight in support of small businesses. Catch him at 8 p.m. Eastern Time / 5 p.m. Pacific Time on Yahoo. What's hot? Yeah, what's hot is just Yahoo search. Regionally accredited online schools you need to know. Only enroll in the top-rated online schools. Start on Yahoo search now. Not all medical billing software is the same. Always start on Yahoo search for the most popular medical billing software. And that's what's hot. Trending now. Michelle Pfeiffer. Coronavirus. Always number 2. Olivia Culpo. Heather Locklear. Garage storage cabinets. I like that. Car insurance cost. Victoria Fullen. Room Go. Don't know what that is. Julianne Moore. Megan MacArthur. Delete. Oops. 1440. Good morning. It's Thursday, May 28th. We're covering locust swarms in India, protests in Minneapolis, and listening to narwhals talk to each other. Fun. Need to know. 100,000 deaths. The U.S. passed 100,000 confirmed coronavirus deaths yesterday afternoon, according to researchers compiling data from local, state, and federal health agencies at Johns Hopkins University. The current total stands at 100,442 deaths, with 1.7 million total cases as of this morning. Deaths rose 1.5% since yesterday morning. But it still is a number that's in doubt as long as hospitals are counting comorbidities as coronavirus deaths. Despite yesterday's surge, deaths and cases in the U.S. have been trending downward, with daily deaths falling under 700 for 3 of the past 4 days. See a moving 3-day average here. Public health officials warn the virus may accelerate if activity returns to normal levels too quickly. Blah, blah, blah. But, warning, yes, good. That's all they should be doing. They should just be warning. Sit back and hand out your warnings. This infographic provides a comparison of each state's cases and current reopening status. Washington, D.C. became one of the final spots in the country to lift its initial stay-at-home order. The city will enter a Phase 1 reopening tomorrow. Overseas, European leaders proposed a $2 trillion recovery package with more than $800 billion available now and the remainder spread over the next 6 fiscal years. Oh my goodness. The package is comparable in size to the U.S. stimulus package, which wasn't spread out over future years. Well, we have a much bigger area to cover. More people, probably. The European Union has the second largest economy in the world behind the U.S. Separately, 80% of Americans surveyed in a new AP NORC poll believe a vaccine against the coronavirus will be available by the end of 2021, but only about half said they would take it once available. Another 30% said they were unsure. I'm unsure. And when something is tested and brought out so quickly, you never know what kind of kinks it might have. Have more questions? Check out our expert-curated coronavirus resource page. Hong Kong's status in jeopardy. The U.S. no longer considers Hong Kong to be an autonomous region independent of China, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced yesterday. What the fuck? Spurred by a congressionally mandated annual review, the move sets the stage for the removal of Hong Kong's special trade status with the U.S. What the fuck? The decision comes in response to a broad national security bill being considered by Beijing outlawing seditious activity in Hong Kong. Why would we want to endorse that? Critics say the bill is meant to silence dissent, and yeah, why would we want to endorse that? The region, the world's 35th largest economy, despite being smaller than Rhode Island, has had a fraught relationship with mainland China since being returned by the British in 1997. Its independent relations with the West have been challenged by Chinese President Xi Jinping, seeking to reign in the territory. Meanwhile, pro-democracy demonstrations in Hong Kong continued yesterday as legislators debated a provision outlawing ridicule of the Chinese national anthem. At least 360 people were arrested. Locust swarms hit India. India has become the latest country to deal with suffocating swarms of locusts, with billions of the bugs descending into western parts of the country over the past week. Break out the flamethrowers. East African nations have been ravaged by the current outbreak, which began in October 2018 after a tropical storm in the Red Sea created favorable breeding conditions. Just fucking burn them all. Flamethrowers. Somebody send them flamethrowers. The migratory bugs are voracious eaters, consuming their own body weight in food each day. Individual swarms may contain more than 300 million insects per square mile. Scenes from some cities appear biblical at times. Reports indicate almost 125,000 acres of crops in India have been destroyed already. Well, if you burn the fuckers with flamethrowers, then that will also fertilize your cropland for next year. You'll have the best crop you've ever had. The invasion, India's worst in 25 years, follows a deadly cyclone last week and comes as coronavirus cases continue to increase across the country. The capital of Delhi is also under a blistering heat wave with temperatures nearing 120 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. Oh my goodness. India is having an apocalypse. The Motley Fool. Henry? No, not Henry. Henry! High earner, not rich yet. And you may be one, regardless of what your name actually is. Despite earning a large income, are you struggling to amass any meaningful nest egg for the future? Well, our friends at the Motley Fool can help. Since 1993, they've provided investment advice helping members build the financial future they envision for themselves. And to kickstart your 2020 financial goals, they're offering 5 of their favorite stock picks for free. You may be a Henry, but the key word is yet. You can do it, and the Motley Fool can help. Get 5 free stock picks, all priced under $50, in their 5 growth stocks under $49 report. Check it out now. Please support our sponsors. In the know. Sports, entertainment, and culture. Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom to reopen July 11th. All Disney parks have been closed since March 15th due to the coronavirus. Panic! Due to the coronavirus panic. Not the actual coronavirus. Jamie Foxx defends late-night host Jimmy Fallon following Fallon's apology for performing in blackface during a Saturday Night Live skit in 2000. Good for you, Jamie Foxx. Larry Kramer, Tony and Emmy Award-winning playwright, author, and AIDS activist, dies at 84. Did he die of AIDS? Was it AIDS? Science and technology. Historic NASA SpaceX launch delayed due to bad weather. Rescheduled for Saturday at 3:22 p.m. Eastern Time with a backup of Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Genetic analysis suggests sustained transmission of the coronavirus in the U.S. was initiated by a single person in mid-February, a month after the first identified case. Are we all going to hate on this one person now? Researchers capture rarely heard vocalizations of narwhals recorded during seasonal migration near Greenland. Sounds include clicks, songs, and buzzes. Okay, I want to listen to the narwhals. With the help of Inuit hunters, as the narwhals summered in a Greenland fjord. That's nice. Okay, let's listen. It sounds like a drill. So not only does a narwhal look like a drill, it also sounds like a drill. I realized working in the area and not paying attention to the elephant in the room, the key endemic legendary Arctic unicorn just flowing around our glacier, was a big mistake, he said. I was studying the sounds made by melting glaciers. That's a weird thing to be studying. Okay. Business and markets. Brought to you by The Ascent. U.S. stock markets up, S&P 500 up 1.5%, Dow up 2.2%, Nasdaq up 0.8%. On continued economic revival hopes, S&P 500 passes 3,000 for first time since March. Yay! Boeing to slash 12,000 jobs amid pandemic market conditions. Restarts limited production of 737 MAX. Why? Just move on from something. Move on from that. Do something else. Despite planes still being grounded following 2 fatal crashes. Exactly. Just move the fuck on. It's not going well. General Electric to sell 129-year-old lighting division founded by Thomas Edison to smart home provider Savant Systems. Plan now, travel later with a credit card offering insane travel bonuses. Multiply your points with dining and grocery stores, then redeem for your dream vacation when you're ready to travel again. Ad. Politics and world affairs. At least one person dies as protests continue in Minneapolis following the death of 46-year-old George Floyd, killed while being taken into police custody. How did they... Why? People should not be dying just because you're... Yeah. Trump directs Justice Department to investigate civil rights violations in case. University of Connecticut student believed to have killed 2 people. If people are dying during your protest, then you're doing it wrong. University of Connecticut student believed to have killed 2 people caught in Maryland after multi-state week-long manhunt. Good for them. Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, otherwise known as FISA. Reauthorization in jeopardy after President Trump, Republicans, and progressive Democrats rallying against it. Trump will reportedly sign executive order on social media companies, follows Twitter applying a fact-check label to 2 Trump tweets. Yeah, because they fact-checked it wrong. Because they just didn't like what it said. In depth. The remaking of Steve Buscemi. From GQ. One of the film industry's most accomplished actors, Steve Buscemi is in a position to pick his next project, but following the untimely death of his wife last year, so he's single. The Hollywood Misfit opens up about anxiety, loss, and hard work. I like Steve Buscemi. The Great Koala Rescue Operation from the Smithsonian. In the aftermath of Australia's devastating brush fires, and with much of the world consumed by the pandemic, panic of the pandemic. A group of dedicated conservationists is focused on saving the country's kangaroo island, one koala at a time. Well, what about the kangaroos? Who's gonna save the kangaroos? Little Joey needs some saving. Excellent historical returns, no jargon. The Motley Fool was founded by brothers Tom and David Gardner out of their garage in Alexandria, Virginia. Since then, they've grown remarkably, thanks in part to some life-changing stock recommendations. Some highlights. Netflix in 2004, up 24,042%. Amazon in 2002, up 16,216%. Tom's average recommendation, 190% returns. David's average recommendation, 659% returns. Damn. Tom, you gotta catch up. Today they're giving away their 5 growth stocks under $49 for free. Just click here. All returns current as of 5/21/2020. Etc. The coronavirus reconnects a nurse with a firefighter who saved her life. Dr. Beach ranks America's best beaches for 2020. Something tells me Dr. Beach is not a real doctor. All of the world's money and markets in a single visualization. The U.S. Navy can now shoot down drones with lasers. With video. Ooh. Anxious, travel-hungry Americans are buying up COVID campers. Good for them. Lickable screen recreates any flavor you may desire. NASA engineer builds a Ninja Warrior course for squirrels. Stunning aerial photos capture precise farmland designs. Clickbait. Bigfoot puts his California home up for sale. History book. Native American athlete Jim Thorpe born, 1887. Volkswagen founded in Germany, 1937. Happy birthday singer Gladys Knight, 1944. PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, is founded in Jerusalem, 1964. Rest in peace poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou, 2014. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. Maya Angelou. Enjoy reading. Forward this email to a friend. And that's all. Thank you for watching.